Once upon a time, in ancient China, there was a powerful emperor who ruled over a vast kingdom. Despite his wealth and influence, the emperor was troubled. His heart was restless, and his mind was constantly burdened with worry. No matter how much power he wielded, he could not find peace. One day, the emperor heard about a wise monk who lived high in the mountains. It was said that the monk possessed great wisdom and had found a deep sense of peace within himself. Desperate to understand this secret, the emperor decided to visit the monk. With an entourage of soldiers, advisors, and servants, the emperor set off on the journey. After many days of travel, they finally reached the humble temple where the monk lived. The emperor entered the temple, where he found the monk seated quietly, meditating in the warm glow of the sun. The emperor, proud and accustomed to deference, spoke, "Wise monk, I am the emperor of this great land, but I cannot find peace. I have conquered enemies, built great cities, and acquired riches beyond measure. And yet, my heart is never calm. Tell me, how can I find peace?" The monk opened his eyes slowly, looked at the emperor, and smiled gently. Without speaking, the monk gestured for the emperor to follow him outside. Together, they walked into the nearby garden. There, the monk pointed to a large, ancient tree and said, "Your Majesty, imagine this tree is your empire. It stands tall and mighty, but its roots are buried deep in the earth, unseen. The tree may sway in the wind, but it stands firm because its roots are strong." The emperor frowned. "What does this have to do with peace?" he asked impatiently. The monk continued, "Like this tree, you have focused on building a great empire above the ground. You have built cities, gathered wealth, and ruled over people. But your roots, your inner self, remain untended. Without strong roots, the tree will eventually fall, no matter how tall it grows." The emperor listened, still uncertain. "So, how do I strengthen my roots?" he asked. The monk smiled again. "To find peace, you must look within, not outside. You must quiet the mind, let go of your need for control, and be present in each moment. The answers you seek do not come from conquering the world but from mastering yourself." The emperor, unused to such simple wisdom, grew frustrated. "I am an emperor. My life is filled with responsibility. How can I let go?" The monk knelt by a small stream that ran through the garden. He scooped a handful of water and held it out. "Your Majesty, imagine this water is your peace. If you try to hold it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But if you open your hand and let it rest, the water remains." The emperor looked at the water in the monk's open palm and finally understood. Peace, like water, could not be forced or controlled. It came from letting go, from being still. The emperor bowed deeply to the monk, filled with a newfound understanding. He realized that the power to find peace lay not in his empire, but within his own heart. From that day forward, the emperor returned to his palace, ruling with wisdom and humility. He often visited the quiet temple in the mountains, spending time in reflection and meditation, and in doing so, he found the peace that had eluded him for so long. And so, the emperor learned that true peace does not come from the power to conquer others but from the ability to conquer oneself. If you enjoyed this Zen story,